Okay, so I wanted to get on here and do a quick video journal of my garden just because I've been gardening for the past 3 years or so now, and this is the first time that I've really actually been successful in growing anything. And I wanted to document what I did differently this year compared to years past, and for myself, so that way I can remember exactly what I did, and then if anybody else can learn from me, then that's great too. So first off, this mix that I did right here, I wanted it to be cost friendly, but also I just wanted it to be good for the plants, because in the years past, what I have done previously was try to cut costs, and I used topsoil, a mixture of composted horse manure that I got free from my mom, and just a little bit of fertilizer. And what happened was that the topsoil had like a lot of clay chunks in it, rocks. It was very heavy. It didn't have very good drainage. And in the summertime, it would get a hard crust across the top. Right here, you can see that I can easily put my finger in, and the soil is nice and wet and it's nice and loose. With the topsoil, I could put my finger in and I would have to put pressure down in order to break the crust that had hardened on the top of my topsoil or my mixture, and the plants were having a really hard time growing in it. So what I did this year was I went and got a bag of raised mix from Lowe's. It was like $8 for 2 cubic feet. It wasn't organic or anything like that. I am trying to be affordable and practical. And then I mixed a bag of just whatever the cow manure is there. It wasn't the Black Cow brand. It was a different brand. It was a cheaper brand. And then I got all natural multi-purpose sand that you can get out of the like concrete type section in Lowe's. This whole bed cost me $25 to fill, and I did the same thing with this bed. What I did was I did probably, I would say, two parts of the raised bed soil, and then I did 1.5 parts of the compost, and then I did 1/2 part of the sand. And that the reason why I added sand was because I wanted good drainage. I didn't want it to hold too much water. And this, I can do water probably like every other day, depending on the heat. It's starting to warm up now. I was getting more days out of it, but now that it's heating up, by day 2, I do need to water it again. But it gets good drainage. It gets good, it's nice and fluffy. And it was inexpensive for me to fill. Now over here, I did a pollinator bed, and I wasn't paying attention to how much sand I was adding in, and so this is more 2 parts raised bed mix, 1 part compost, 1 part sand, and it still holds some water, but I am having to come out here every single day and water it. And when the sun comes here, and I'm in Northeast Florida and it's really hot out, I'm probably going to have to wake up in the morning before I clock in for work, come out here, water it, and then again in the evening when the sun goes down, come out here and do another water. So that is going to affect my water bill at some point. So it's still good. Obviously, my pollinator plants are starting to sprout from it. They are growing okay. It is staying somewhat moist, but it is getting more drainage than what I would want. I have the same problem with where I planted my corn. I did the same thing, not quite as much sand, but still more than what it needed. So the drainage is a little too good in it. And also I think that these grow bags also are not allowing it to retain the moisture as well either. They're not very deep. So that's just some things that I have learned while starting my beds, to cut costs and but still make it a desirable place for my plants to live. Obviously, I do have plants that are growing well, and I've never had this much success. I have had plants that would grow, and then they would kind of stall out, and then I wouldn't get hardly any fruit or vegetable. And obviously, things are going well here. It is March, so these probably will start bolting soon. I do believe that this one right here is on the verge of bolting. As you can see, it has these little lime green spots in it. And so tomorrow I'm going to come out and check it, and if any of these florets have loosened up the way they're loosened up now, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it and hope that it's not too bitter to eat. And I'll probably go ahead and harvest these as well, just so I can have enough to make a side dish. And then later on we'll just eat the greens, the green leaves for dinner, kind of like you would collard greens. So it's not too big of a deal. I am going to go ahead and film a couple of these videos and then post them separately just to help keep myself organized. But I do want to say that one of the most important things that you can do in a garden is to make sure you have a good foundation and make sure that you have a good soil mix. Good fertilization. I do use an organic fertilizer in here. It is slow release, so if you are looking for something to grow fast, organic is probably not what you want, but for me it's okay. And then one more thing, we are cleaning up back here. We did some rearranging, so it's a little bit of a mess. But I recently found out that you can go and get bulk compost, bulk potting mix from your local landscape supply store. So I got one front load in. They said it was about 1 cubic yard, and that was enough to fill up this whole 3 by 6 by 1 bed, so it's 18 cubic feet, as well as this 50-gallon raised bed, that 50-gallon raised bed. And then I had some left over to up pot some of my fruit trees that I'm trying to get going. So if you're also looking for another cost-effective way, this was $40 for just the one load. My husband has a pickup truck, so he was able to go get it for me. They just dump it right into the back of your trunk bed, and then we used a wheelbarrow to move it back here to our garden. So that is the most cost-effective way if you have a lot of beds that you have to fill. If I had known that previously, I would not have done the mix that I did. It would have been beneficial if I only had the 2 beds, but because I had so much more that I wanted to fill, I really wish I had known that you could get the potting mix at that price by just doing a little bit of the work yourself, like having it delivered, or you delivering it to your own house using your own vehicle. So that is one thing to consider if you have a lot of beds that you have to fill. This is pre-mixed, so this already has compost and everything in it. You can see that it's got some sand in it, and whenever I had it delivered and we were shoveling it, we noticed that there were already earthworms in it, so it's already got a good environment to be broken down, and I'm really excited about that. So until then, until the next time I see you, I will talk to you later.